Napoleon Bonaparte, originally named Napoleon D. Bonaparte, was born on August 15, 1769, in Ajaccio, the capital of Corsica, an island in the Mediterranean Sea that had been under Genoese control until its cession to France through the Treaty of Versailles on May 15, 1768. This transition was marked by resistance from Corsican nationalists led by Pasquale Paoli, who had briefly established an independent republic. Napoleon's father, Carlo Maria Bonaparte, born March 29, 1746, was a lawyer educated in Pisa and Rome, descending from Tuscan nobility with roots tracing back to the 16th century. Carlo initially supported Paoli's independence movement but pragmatically aligned with the French after their victory at the Battle of Ponte Novo on May 8 to 9, 1769, just months before Napoleon's birth. This shift secured the family's status, with Carlo becoming a representative in the Corsican estates and later a judge. Napoleon's mother, Maria Letizia Ramolino, born August 24, 1750, came from a prominent Corsican family and was known for her resilience, frugality, and strict discipline. Married to Carlo at age 14 on June 2, 1764, she bore 13 children, with 8 surviving infancy: Joseph, born January 7, 1768, Napoleon, Lucien, May 21, 1775, Maria Anna, Elisa, January 3, 1777, Louis, August 24, 1778, Pauline, October 20, 1780, Caroline, March 25, 1782, and Jerome, November 15, 1784. The 5 who did not survive included stillborns and infants lost to illness. The family lived in a modest 3-story house in Ajaccio, now the Maison Bonaparte Museum, speaking Corsican and Italian at home. Carlo's friendship with the French governor, Charles Louis de Marboeuf, who served as Napoleon's godfather at his baptism on July 21, 1771, in Ajaccio Cathedral, played a crucial role in securing royal scholarships for Joseph and Napoleon to study in France. Napoleon's early childhood was influenced by Corsican culture, including folktales and a sense of island identity, but also by the family's upward mobility under French rule. He learned basic reading and writing from an aunt and a local abbé, showing early signs of ambition and a temper, often engaging in mock battles with neighborhood children. Education and formative years, 1779 to 1785. In December 1778, Carlo traveled to Versailles with a Corsican delegation, taking Joseph and Napoleon to France. On January 15, 1779, at age 9, Napoleon enrolled at the College d'Autun, a religious school run by Benedictines, primarily to master French, which he initially spoke with a thick Corsican accent that would persist lifelong, leading to mockery. After 3 months, on May 15, 1779, he transferred to the Royal Military Academy at Brienne-le-Château, funded by a scholarship from Louis XVI. Brienne was an austere institution for sons of minor nobility, where Napoleon, one of 110 cadets, faced bullying for his foreign origins, short stature, approximately 5 feet 2 inches in French measure, equivalent to 5 feet 7 inches in modern terms, and modest finances. His allowance was half that of wealthier peers. He responded by withdrawing into studies, excelling in mathematics, geometry, history, and geography, while struggling with Latin and languages. Influenced by Enlightenment philosophers like Voltaire, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Montesquieu, and Abbé Raynal, he developed republican ideals and a disdain for aristocracy. He wrote early essays, such as one praising Paoli, and built snow forts during winters, demonstrating strategic thinking. His examiner, Chevalier de Correggio, recommended him for naval service due to his mathematical prowess, but Napoleon pursued artillery. In October 1784, at age 15, he advanced to the École Militaire in Paris, a prestigious academy founded by Louis XV, housing 500 cadets in luxurious but disciplined quarters. Specializing in artillery, which emphasized merit over birth, he studied under professors like Gaspard Monge, inventor of descriptive geometry, and was examined by Pierre-Simon Laplace. The sudden death of his father from stomach cancer on February 13, 1785, at age 38 in Montpellier, left the family in financial straits, prompting Napoleon to accelerate his studies. He completed the 2-year curriculum in 1 year, graduating on September 28, 1785, ranked 42nd out of 58 in his class but first in mathematics. Commissioned as a second lieutenant in the La Fère Artillery Regiment on January 1, 1786, he was posted to Valence in the Drôme region, earning 112 livres monthly, much of which he sent home. In garrisons at Valence, 1786, Lyon, Douai, and Auxonne, 1788 to 1791, he immersed himself in military theory, reading works by Guibert, Bourset, and ancient historians like Plutarch and Caesar, while writing fictional stories and political tracts, including On Suicide, and a pro-revolutionary letter to Buttefeuille in 1791. The French Revolution and early military career, 1786 to 1795. Napoleon's early service coincided with France's pre-revolutionary tensions. From 1786 to 1789, he took extended leaves to Corsica, aiding family affairs amid growing unrest. The revolution's outbreak on July 14, 1789, with the Bastille's fall, resonated with his ideals. He witnessed events in Paris and supported the National Assembly. Returning to Corsica in September 1789, he joined the Jacobin Club in Ajaccio, advocating French reforms on the island. Promoted to first lieutenant in April 1791, he was elected lieutenant colonel of the Corsican National Guard in April 1792, but internal divisions arose. His family backed the revolution, clashing with Paoli's increasingly separatist faction. In February 1793, Napoleon commanded artillery in a failed expedition to capture Sardinia's La Maddalena archipelago, ordered by the convention but botched due to naval reluctance, leading to blame on Paoli. The execution of Louis XVI on January 21, 1793, deepened Corsican rifts. Paoli was accused of counter-revolutionary leanings, and the Bonapartes, as French loyalists, were targeted. After a failed arrest attempt on Paoli, the family was denounced by the Corsican Assembly, forcing their flight to Toulon on June 11, 1793, with Letizia and children escaping under fire. Impoverished in mainland France, Napoleon rejoined his regiment. His opportunity came during the Siege of Toulon, September 7 to December 19, 1793, where Royalists and British forces held the port. Appointed artillery commander on October 16 by General Cartoz, later replaced by de Gaumier, the 24-year-old Napoleon devised a plan to capture the strategic L'Aiguillette and Artigas forts, bombarding the harbor. Despite wounds, his batteries forced the British evacuation on December 17, with 14 ships burned. Promoted to brigadier general on December 22, he earned Jacobin patronage from Augustin Robespierre. The Thermidorian reaction on July 27, 1794, 9 Thermidor, overthrew Maximilien Robespierre, leading to Napoleon's arrest on August 9 for suspected Jacobin ties. Imprisoned at Fort Caron on Tibes, he was released on August 20 due to military needs and lack of evidence. Assigned to the Vade campaign but refusing infantry command, he was struck from the active list in September 1795. In Paris, he courted Désirée Clary, future wife of Bernadotte, and mingled in salons. On October 5, 1795, 13 Vendémiaire, Royalists marched on the Tuileries. Paul Barras, commanding defenses, recalled Napoleon's Toulon success and tasked him with artillery. Deploying 40 cannons on key streets, Napoleon's whiff of grapeshot killed 200 to 400 insurgents, saving the Directory. Rewarded with command of the Army of the Interior on October 26, he gained political influence. Marriage, Italian campaign, and hero status, 1796 to 1797. In Parisian society, Napoleon met Josephine de Beauharnais, born Marie-Joseph Rose Tacher de la Pagerie, June 23, 1763, a Creole widow from Martinique, guillotined husband survivor, and Barras's former mistress, with children Eugene, 1781, and Hortense, 1783. Their whirlwind romance led to a civil marriage on March 9, 1796. Despite her being 6 years older, Napoleon changed her name to Josephine. Passionate letters reveal his devotion, though the union remained childless, leading to later divorce. Appointed commander of the Army of Italy on March 2, 1796, by the Directory to divert from domestic threats, Napoleon inherited a ragged 37,000-man force, unpaid and undersupplied, facing 50,000 Austrian and Sardinian troops in the Alps. Arriving in Nice on March 27, he reorganized, motivated with speeches, "Soldiers, you are naked, ill-fed. I will lead you into the most fertile plains," and launched offensives. The Montenotte campaign, April 10 to 28, saw victories at Montenotte, April 12, Millesimo, April 13, Dago, April 14 to 15, Siva, April 16, and Mondovi, April 21, forcing Sardinia's armistice at Cherasco, April 28, and Treaty of Paris, May 15, ceding Nice and Savoy. Against Austrians under Beaulieu, Napoleon crossed the Po River, winning at Lodi, May 10, where he led a bayonet charge across the bridge, earning little corporal from troops. Milan fell on May 15. He extracted contributions while protecting art. Besieging Mantua from June, he repelled relief armies, Wurmser at Castiglione, August 5, Bassano, September 8, and Arcole, November 15 to 17, where Napoleon grabbed a flag to rally troops amid marshes. Alvinci's offensive was crushed at Rivoli, January 14 to 15, 1797, with 14,000 Austrian losses. Mantua surrendered February 2. Advancing to Vienna, Napoleon signed the preliminary Peace of Leoben, April 18, and Treaty of Campo Formio, October 17, 1797, redrawing maps. France gained Belgium, Lombardy, as Cisalpine Republic, and Ionian Islands. Austria received Venice. He founded the Ligurian and Cisalpine republics, exporting revolutionary ideals. Returning to Paris on December 5, 1797, with treasures like the Louvre's new acquisitions, the 28-year-old was elected to the Institut de France and celebrated as a hero, his dispatches shaping public image. Egyptian expedition and scientific legacy, 1798 to 1799. To strike Britain indirectly by threatening India, Napoleon proposed invading Egypt, approved by the Directory on March 5, 1798, also to remove the popular general. Departing Toulon on May 19 with 38,000 troops, 13 ships of the line, and 167 savants, scientists like Berthollet, Monge, Fourier, he captured Malta, June 9 to 12, evading Nelson's fleet. Landing at Abukir on July 1, he marched to Cairo, defeating Mamluks at Shubra Kit, July 13, and the Battle of the Pyramids, July 21, where 40,000 Mamluks lost 5,000 to 6,000 to French squares, for 300 French casualties. Entering Cairo on July 22, he established the Institut d'Égypte on August 22, promoting reforms like abolishing feudalism and studying antiquities. Disaster struck when Nelson destroyed the French fleet at the Battle of the Nile, August 1 to 2, Abukir Bay, sinking 11 of 13 ships, stranding the army. Napoleon suppressed a Cairo revolt, October 21 to 23, executing leaders. In February 1799, he invaded Syria to preempt Ottoman attack, capturing El Arish, February 20, Gaza, February 24 to 25, and Jaffa, March 7, where, after a siege, he ordered 2,000 to 4,000 Ottoman prisoners massacred, citing supply shortages, a controversial act. Besieging Acre from March 20, he faced stubborn defense by Jazzer Pasha, aided by British Commodore Sidney Smith's ships and plague outbreaks. After 8 assaults, costing 2,200 French lives, he lifted the siege on May 21, retreating with 1,800 wounded euthanized by opium, allegedly on his orders, debated. Back in Egypt, he crushed an Ottoman landing at Abu Qir, July 25, 1799, with 10,000 Ottoman casualties for 1,000 French. The expedition's military failure contrasted with scientific triumphs. Savants founded Egyptology, discovering the Rosetta Stone, July 15, 1799, by Bouchard, mapping the Suez Canal route, and publishing the 23-volume Description de l'Égypte, 1809–1829. Hearing of Directory crises, losses in Italy, Jacobin resurgence, Napoleon abandoned his army on August 23, 1799, to Kleber, slipping past British blockade on the frigate Muiran, arriving in Frejus on October 9 to triumphant reception, his propaganda minimizing defeats. Coup of 18 Brumaire and the Consulate, 1799–1804. The Directory, plagued by corruption, inflation, and war of the Second Coalition defeats, Russia, Austria, Britain invading, was ripe for overthrow. Napoleon allied with Director Emmanuel Joseph Size, who sought a sword for a coup, plus Roger Ducasse, Foreign Minister Charles Maurice de Talleyrand, Police Minister Joseph Fouché, and brother Lucien, President of the Council of 500. On November 9, 1799, 18 Brumaire, the councils were relocated to St. Cloud for safety. Napoleon addressed them clumsily, nearly lynched, but Lucien and troops under Murat intervened, dispersing deputies with bayonets. The Republic is saved. The Constitution of the year 8, December 13, 1799, established the consulate, with Napoleon as first consul, effective dictator, Cambyses, justice expert, second, and Lebrun, monarchist, third. Ratified by plebiscite on February 7, 1800, 3,011,007 yes, 1,562 no, likely inflated, it centralized power. Napoleon appointed Senate, Tribunate, and legislative body, muted roles. He moved to the Tuileries Palace on February 19, 1800, reviving court etiquette. Militarily, facing Austrian advances in Italy, Napoleon secretly raised a reserve army. In May 1800, he led 40,000 across the Alps via Great St. Bernard Pass, May 15 to 21, a feat immortalized by David, with cannons on sledges. Surprising Melas, he retook Milan, June 2, but nearly lost at Marengo, June 14. Initial retreat turned by Desaix's arrival, who died charging. Kellermann's cavalry sealed victory, 6,000 Austrian dead/captured 8,000 versus 5,500 French. Simultaneously, Moreau won at Hohenlinden, December 3, 1800. The Treaty of Lunéville, February 9, 1801, confirmed Campo Formio, ending the Second Coalition on land. Peace with Britain via the Treaty of Amiens, March 25, 1802, allowed reforms. Economically, the Bank of France, January 18, 1800, issued stable currency, tax collection centralized with direct taxes. Administratively, the law of February 17, 1800, created 83 departments governed by prefects, subprefects, and appointed mayors, ending local elections. Judicially, the Napoleonic Code, Code Civil, March 21, 1804, drafted by Portalis, Tronchet, et al., unified laws from 360 pre-revolution codes, emphasizing equality, merit, property rights, civil marriage/divorce, but patriarchal, women as minors, no inheritance equality. Criminal, 1810, commercial, 1807, and penal codes followed. Religiously, the Concordat of 1801, July 15, ratified Easter 1802, with Pope Pius VII ended revolutionary schism, Catholicism as religion of the majority, bishops state-nominated, clergy salaried, church lands sold but compensated. The Organic Articles, April 8, 1802, asserted Gallican control. Educationally, lycées, May 1, 1802, provided secondary education for elite, emphasizing classics and math. The Imperial University, March 17, 1808, monopolized higher education. Honors included the Legion of Honor, May 19, 1802, a merit-based order with pensions. Infrastructure boomed, 32,000 kilometers of roads, canals like St. Quentin, 1810, bridges, ports. The metric system, decreed December 10, 1799, was enforced. A plebiscite on August 2, 1802, 3,568,885 yes, 8,374 no, made him consul for life, with successor nomination rights. Empire and Coronation, 1804. Royalist plots, like the 1800 Rue Saint-Nicaise bomb, killing 22 civilians, and the 1804 Cadoodle-Pichegru conspiracy, involving Moreau, arrested February 15, justified escalation. On March 21, 1804, Napoleon ordered the Duc d'Enghien's kidnapping from Baden and execution, March 21, a crime per Talleyrand but policy. A Senate motion on May 18, 1804, proclaimed the empire. A plebiscite, November 6, 3,572,329 yes, 2,579 no, confirmed. The coronation on December 2, 1804, at Notre Dame, cost 8.5 million francs. Pope Pius VII attended, but Napoleon crowned himself with Charlemagne's iron crown, then Josephine, symbolizing self-made power, as painted by David. A second ceremony in Milan, May 26, 1805, with the Iron Crown of Lombardy made him King of Italy. The Constitution of the year 12 formalized heredity, creating marshals, e.g., Ney, Murat, and a nobility of 3,000 titles by 1814. Height of power, coalitions and conquests, 1805 to 1811. The Third Coalition formed April 1805 amid tensions, Britain's subsidies, Napoleon's Italian kingship. Preparing invasion at Boulogne, 1803 to 1805, with 200,000 troops and flotilla, but Admiral Villeneuve's fleet evaded to Cadiz. Nelson's Trafalgar victory, October 21, 1805, sank 22 Franco-Spanish ships for no British losses, ending invasion hopes. On land, the Grande Armée marched 800 kilometers in 35 days for the Ulm campaign. Encircling max 72,000 Austrians at Ulm, October 20, capturing 30,000. Vienna fell November 13. At Austerlitz, December 2, 1805, anniversary coronation, 73,000 French faced 85,000 Russians-Austrians. Napoleon's feint weakened his right, luring attack. Soult seized Pratzen Heights, splitting allies. Losses: 1,305 French dead, 6,940 wounded versus 16,000 Allied dead/wounded, 11,000 captured. Tsar Alexander fled, the son of Austerlitz became legendary. The Treaty of Pressburg, December 26, ceded Venetia, Tyrol, costing Austria 40,000 square kilometers and 3 million subjects. In 1806, Napoleon created the Confederation of the Rhine, July 12, 16 states, growing to 39, protecting France with 63,000 troops. Francis II abdicated as Holy Roman Emperor, August 6. Installing family: Joseph King of Naples, March 30, 1806, Louis King of Holland, June 5, Murat Grand Duke of Berg, March 15, Jerome later Westphalia, 1807, Elisa Lucca/Piombino. The Fourth Coalition, Prussia, Russia, Britain, erupted October 1806 over Rhine violations. Napoleon's 180,000 crushed Prussia at twin battles. Jena-Auerstedt, October 14 at Jena, he defeated 38,000 with 5,000 losses. Davout's corps beat 63,000 with 7,000 losses. Berlin occupied October 27. The Berlin Decree, November 21, initiated the Continental System, closing ports to British goods to ruin her economy. Pursuing Russians, the winter campaign saw Eylau, February 7 to 8, 1807, a Pyrrhic draw in blizzard, 25,000 French versus 15,000 Russian casualties, Napoleon admitting, "What a massacre." Victory at Friedland, June 14, 10,000 French versus 25,000 Russian losses, forced talks. At Tilsit, July 7 to 9, on Niemen Raft, Napoleon and Alexander I allied, Russia joined Continental System, recognized French gains, Prussia halved, losing 50% territory/population, Duchy of Warsaw created from Polish lands. In 1807 to 1808, Napoleon annexed Etruria, Parma, invaded Portugal, November 1807, for refusing blockade, deposing Braganzas. The Spanish crisis, Godoy's favoritism led to Ferdinand VII's Aranjuez mutiny, March 1808. Napoleon arbitrated at Bayonne, May 1808, forcing abdications from Charles IV and Ferdinand, installing Joseph as King of Spain, June 6, with Murat taking Naples. This ignited the Peninsular War. Peninsular War and Continental Strains, 1808 to 1814. The Madrid Uprising, 2 de Mayo, May 2, 1808, suppressed brutally, 400 Spanish executed, sparked nationwide guerrilla warfare, Little War. Spanish juntas coordinated resistance. British under Wellesley landed August 1808, winning Vimiero, August 21. Napoleon intervened November 1808 with 80,000, retaking Madrid, December 4, but guerrillas harassed supplies. Soult pursued more to Corunna, January 16, 1809, where British evacuated after Moore's death. The war became a quagmire, 300,000 French troops committed by 1810, suffering 300,000 casualties by 1814 from ambushes, disease, atrocities, e.g., Zaragoza sieges, 54,000 civilian deaths. Wellington's lines of Torres Vedras, 1810, stalled Messina, victories at Fuentes de Onoro, 1811, Salamanca, 1812, Vitoria, 1813, pushed French out. The Spanish ulcer drained resources, eroding French morale. The Fifth Coalition, Austria, Britain, struck April 1809 amid peninsular distractions. Napoleon rushed from Spain, winning Eckmühl, April 22, entering Vienna, May 13. At Aspern-Essling, May 21 to 22, his first major defeat, 20,000 French versus 23,000 Austrian casualties, failing Danube crossing. Reinforcing to 188,000, he won Wagram, July 5 to 6, 34,000 French versus 40,000 Austrian losses. The Treaty of Schönbrunn, October 14, ceded 83,500 square kilometers, 3.5 million subjects, 85 million francs indemnity. Marie-Louise's marriage followed. Personal life, heir, and peak empire, 1809 to 1812. Josephine's infertility prompted annulment, December 15, 1809, Senate January 1810. After rejecting Russian Grand Duchess Anna, Napoleon married Marie-Louise, born December 12, 1791, Francis II's daughter, by proxy March 11, 1810, civilly April 1, religiously April 2 at Louvre. Their son, Napoleon François Charles Joseph Bonaparte, March 20, 1811, titled King of Rome, secured dynasty. Napoleon had illegitimate children, Charles Lyon, December 13, 1806, with Eleanor Denuel, Alexander Kolana-Waluski, May 4, 1810, with Maria Waluska, DNA confirmed 2013, and possibly others. By 1810, the empire spanned 130 departments, 44 million people, from Spain to Illyria. Satellite states included Spain, Joseph, Naples, Murat, Westphalia, Jerome, Holland, annexed 1810 after Louis's abdication, Swiss Confederation, Rhine Confederation, Warsaw. The continental system, expanded by Milan, 1807, Fontainebleau, 1810, decrees, burned British goods but caused smuggling, inflation, shortages, sugar prices tripled. Resentment grew, Russia's trade resumption, December 1810, strained Tilsit alliance. Russian campaign and disaster, 1812. Disputes over Poland, Oldenburg annexation, 1810, and Russia's blockade defection led to war. Napoleon amassed the Grande Armée, 450,000 to 610,000 men, half non-French, 1,200 cannons, crossing Niemen June 24, 1812. Alexander I refused battle, Barclay de Tolly, then Kutuzov, retreated, scorching earth. Heat, disease, desertion reduced forces early. Victories, Vilna, June 28, occupied, Vitebsk, July 28, Smolensk, August 17 to 18, 9,000 French versus 11,000 Russian losses, city burned. At Borodino, September 7, 120 kilometers from Moscow, 130,000 French versus 120,000 Russians, brutal artillery duel, French seized Shevardino Redoubt, Ravsky Battery, 28,000 to 35,000 French casualties, including 47 generals, 44,000 to 52,000 Russian. Napoleon entered Moscow September 14, finding it deserted, fires, likely Russian set, destroying 75%. Expecting surrender, he waited in Kremlin, but Alexander refused. Retreat began October 19 amid snow, Cossacks harassed, supplies failed. At Maloyaroslavets, October 24, stalled advance south. Vyazma, November 3, 4,000 French losses. Temperatures dropped to -30 degrees Celsius, Berezina crossing, November 26 to 29, engineer Ebeles pontoons saved remnants but cost 20,000 to 30,000. Napoleon left army December 5 to Smorgoni, reaching Paris December 18. Survivors, 40,000 to 70,000 of invasion force, total deaths 1,400,000 to 500,000 French/Allies, 300,000 to 400,000 Russian, many civilians. Horses lost, 200,000, crippling cavalry. War of the Sixth Coalition and defeat, 1813 to 1814. Russia's survival inspired Prussia's defection, February 28, 1813, Kalisz Treaty, Sweden, Bernadotte, forming Sixth Coalition with Britain, Austria, joined August 12 after armistice. Napoleon raised 200,000 conscripts, winning Lutzen, May 2, 20,000 French versus 22,000 coalition, Bautzen, May 20 to 21, 20,000 French versus 18,000. Dresden, August 26 to 27, 10,000 French versus 38,000 coalition losses. But subordinates faltered, Vandamme captured at Kulm, August 30, Ney routed at Dennowitz, September 6. The climactic Battle of Leipzig, October 16 to 19, nations, 195,000 French versus 365,000 coalition, Russia, Prussia, Austria, Sweden. 4 days, urban fighting, bridge explosion trapped 20,000. French losses, 38,000 dead/wounded, 15,000 captured, 325 cannons, coalition 54,000. Leipzig ended Rhine Confederation, Allies liberated Germany. Retreating to France, Napoleon faced 350,000 invaders January 1814. With 70,000 troops, his campaign of France showed brilliance. Brienne, January 29, La Rothière, February 1, defeat, then 6 days, February 10 to 14, Champaubert, 2,000 Russian captured, Montmirail, 4,000 coalition losses, Château-Thierry, Vauchamps, 600 French versus 7,000 Prussian, Montereau, February 18. But numbers overwhelmed, Blücher and Schwarzenberg advanced. Paris defenses crumbled, Marmont and Mortier surrendered March 30 after La Fère-Champenoise, March 25. Marie-Louise and son fled to Blois. At Fontainebleau, Marshals Ney, MacDonald demanded abdication April 4. Napoleon complied April 6 unconditionally. After suicide attempt, poison failed. Treaty of Fontainebleau, April 11. Exiled to Elba, retained emperor title, 2 million franc pension, 400 guards. Louis XVIII restored April 1814. The 100 Days in Waterloo, 1815. On Elba, arrived May 4, 1814, Napoleon ruled 12,000 inhabitants, building roads, but learned of unfulfilled pension, Josephine's death, May 29, 1814, pneumonia at Malmaison, and Bourbon unpopularity, taxes, White Terror purges. Visited by mother and sister Pauline, affair with Marie Woluska. Escaping February 26, 1815, on Inconstant with 1,026 men, landed Golfe-Juan March 1. Marching via Route Napoleon, at Laffrey, March 7, confronted 5th Regiment, soldiers, if there is any among you who wishes to kill his emperor, here I am. They defected. Grenoble, Lyon fell, Ney, sent to arrest, joined March 14. Entering Tuileries March 20 as Louis XVIII fled to Ghent, Napoleon proclaimed liberal reforms, Additional Act Constitution, April 22, abolished feudalism, press freedom, but plebiscite lukewarm, 1.5 million yes, low turnout. The Seventh Coalition declared him outlaw at Vienna Congress. Raising 280,000, he preemptively invaded Belgium June 15, 1815, with 124,000 versus 210,000 allies. Defeated Blücher at Ligny, June 16, 16,000 French versus 21,000 Prussian casualties, but Grouchy failed pursuit. At Quatre Bras, June 16, Ney tied Wellington. Waterloo, June 18, 73,000 French versus Wellington's 68,000 Anglo-Dutch, total allies 118,000 with Prussians. Rain delayed attack to 11:30 a.m., D'Erlin's assault on La Haye-Saint failed, Ney's cavalry charges, 5,000 horses, repelled by squares but wasted infantry. Hougoumont diverted resources. At 4 p.m., Bülow's Prussians arrived, La Haye-Saint fell 6:30 p.m., but Imperial Guards charge, 7:30 p.m., broke under fire. Rout ensued, 25,000 French casualties, 15,000 captured versus 23,000 allied. La Garde recule, panicked army. Fleeing to Paris, Napoleon abdicated June 22 for son, provisional government under Fouché negotiated. Attempting America escape, blockaded, he surrendered to Captain Maitland on HMS Bellerophon July 15, I come, to throw myself on the hospitality of the British. Exile on Saint Helena and death, 1815 to 1821. Allies exiled him to Saint Helena, 1,900 kilometers off Africa, arriving October 15, 1815, on HMS Northumberland. At Longwood House, a damp, rat-infested former barn, under Governor Sir Hudson Lowe's restrictive regime, limited movement, censored mail, spied upon. Companions included Montholin, Bertrand, Gourgaud, left 1818, Las Cases, left 1816, Valet Marchand, Dr. O'Mara, replaced 1818 by Antimarchi. Napoleon dictated memoirs, Memorial de Saint Helene with Las Cases, published 1823, bestseller shaping legend, campaigns with Montholin and Gourgaud. He gardened, read, library of 3,000 books, debated, played chess, received visitors like Lady Holland. Health declined from 1817, hepatitis, ulcers, possibly stomach cancer, family history, or arsenic poisoning, hair samples showed high levels, debated, perhaps from wallpaper preservative or foul play. Bedridden March 1821, he reconciled with church, received extreme unction. Died May 5, 1821, 5:49 p.m., age 51. Last words, France, L'Armée, Tête d'Armée, Josephine. Autopsy by Antimarchy, witnessed by British doctors, found perforated stomach ulcer, enlarged liver, no poison noted then. Buried May 9 in Valley of Willows, stone unmarked per his wish for Napoleon. In 1840, Louis Philippe's Retour de Cendres, remains exhumed October 15, shipped on Belle Poule, arrived Paris December 15 amid snow, millions attended procession to Invalides, entombed 1861 in porphyry sarcophagus under dome. Legacy and historical impact. Napoleon revolutionized warfare with corps system, rapid maneuver, merit promotion, winning 53 of 60 battles. His code spread civil law to 70 countries, metric system, modern education, centralized states endured. But wars cost 3 to 6.5 million lives, redrew Europe, sowed nationalism leading to unifications. Vilified as tyrant by contemporaries like Beethoven, erased Eroica dedication, romanticized as self-made genius. Over 300,000 books written, psychoanalysis terms, Napoleon complex. DNA, 2008, confirmed Corsican Italian origins, haplogroup EM34. Mistakes leading to downfall. Napoleon's fall stemmed from interconnected errors, as analyzed in sources like Andrew Roberts' biography and historical assessments. Overextension and perpetual war, ambition drove endless campaigns, exhausting France's 2.5 to 3 million military deaths. Demographic crisis, 1815 population stagnated. Refusing peace, e.g., rejecting 1813 Frankfurt proposals offering natural frontiers, united Europe in 6 coalitions. As Chaptal noted, he could not stop. Continental system, 1806 to 1814 economic warfare against Britain failed, causing European recession, smuggling. Holland imported £10 million British goods annually, riots, e.g., 1810 France. Alienated allies like Russia, leading to 1812 invasion. Blockades raised prices 300 to 500%, fostering black markets. Peninsular War, 1808 to 1814 usurping Spanish throne ignited nationalist guerrilla war, ulcer, per Napoleon. Atrocities, e.g., 1808 Madrid, Zaragoza sieges, fueled resistance, 300,000 French casualties, 500,000 total deaths. Diverted troops from other fronts, enabling coalitions. Russian invasion, 1812 gravest blunder, underestimated distances, climate, scorched earth. Ignored logistics, army too large for supplies, lost 200,000 horses early. Refused early retreat from Moscow, leading to winter catastrophe. Shattered aura, lost 500,000 men, emboldened Prussia/Austria. Nepotism and poor appointments, placing brothers, Joseph in Spain, unpopular, indecisive, Louis in Holland, defied blockade, Jerome in Westphalia, extravagant, undermined legitimacy, caused revolts. Subordinates like Grouchy at Waterloo failed key tasks. Diplomatic arrogance, harsh treaties, Tilsit having Prussia, Pressburg humiliating Austria, bred revenge. Alienated Talleyrand, resigned 1807, intrigued against him, failed to secure lasting alliances. Ignored warnings, e.g., Metternich's 1810 advice. Personal traits and hubris, inferiority complex, per psychologists, drove overcompensation, micromanagement stifled initiative. At Waterloo, health issues, hemorrhoids, delayed decisions, refused Ney reinforcements timely. 100 Days aggression, 1815 escape without diplomacy declared him outlaw, attacking at Waterloo instead of defending wasted chance for negotiation. Tactical errors, wet ground delay, misreading Blücher, Guard's futile charge.